This is a raclette machine. It's got these paddles that you put a slice of cheese in, and there's a grill under here, and sits under there and melts, and then you pour it over the potatoes on your plate or whatever else you've got on your plate that you want to pour it over. And the cheese that we use is cheese for raclette. Now, I don't think it's actually raclette, the name of the cheese, but it's that it melts really easily, and the origins of that are a big lump of whatever cheese it is that people used to melt and slice off in front of the fire. So that's what we had on Saturday evening with Cleo and Etienne. Bit of a cause for celebration. 2 eggs yesterday when I went down to put the chickens away. This one is from one of the Gold Brahmas, and this one is from one of the black girls. It's the first egg, I'm sure, from one of the black girls, because I always compare them, and the black girls lay white eggs. And it's not very clear in this light, but it is white, that egg. So today's Mark's birthday. As you can see, it's a pretty grey day. And we're going to go out for lunch. I must book a table. It's much quieter now with only one cockerel. It really is. Oh, she's just proving me wrong. Oh, it's you, is it? Is it you that's laying eggs? So, chickens that stop laying over winter often come back into lay. I mean, they use the 14th of February as a date, but in February, and it might just be that the light levels now are enough for one of these black girls. I don't know which one. I'm sure it's the one that's being noisy. The light levels might just be enough now for them to lay. We had a problem with Ida over the last few days, which was resolved last night by me. She'd had a piece of bramble. It wasn't bramble actually, because I wouldn't have been able to grab it otherwise, but she'd had like a long 3-piece stick stuck to her, entangled in her side and down her back, and every time you went near her to try and take it off, she runs away, because she, you know what she's like, she just doesn't want anybody to get anywhere near her. And I think the fact that she'd got this stick bumping her every time she moved spooked her even more. So last night, because she has bread every night when we go down, a slice of cheap bread, because that's what she's used to and what she expects. And I held one piece and just pulled it away a bit, so she had to walk further towards me to get the bread, and I managed with the other hand to grab the stick and hang on tight, and she ran off, but without the stick. So I was really pleased about that, because it had been stuck to her for about 5 days, and we didn't know how we were going to get rid of that. Are you happier now, Mrs. Sheep? Is that better now you've got no stick? I expect it is. What about you? Are you still laying broken eggs or not? Huh? Are you? So we had a really lovely evening with Cleo and Etienne on Sunday. Well, I'd forgotten how hard 3.5 hours of solid French is. Especially after I was already tired, having done all the planning and the cooking and all the other stuff around it. I was absolutely knackered, and I felt a bit out of sync on Monday, I suppose you could say. I think I might have recovered by now. Left a message on under Mark from going solo in France. I left a message for him about not overthinking the chickens and the chicken housing. As you can see, this is how our chickens live, and this is how they've lived for a long time. That building was here when we moved in. This run was here when we moved in. I mean, I know it's full of shit now, but you should have seen how much fuller of shit it was before. But at times the chickens have been able to come out. We made a door there, which is blocked with a big brick. At times the chickens have been able to come and go from the coop into here without any intervention from us, and the only reason they don't do that now is because up above there's roof and there's trees, and any predator could come down, and has done. I mean, we've and I think whatever you do and however hard you try to contain and protect your chickens, you will always lose your chickens to a predator. It just happens. We've lost so many chickens. We've lost flocks, which is why we're quite pragmatic about the chickens now, or that's probably not the word, but it's like they don't have names. They're here. We enjoy having them, but we also know that any minute now something could come into the garden and take one away. We lost the black mother last May, because we had eggs that we could put under the broody gold Brahma, which is why we've got these two black hens. But we lost the black mother, and we think we lost her to an overhead predator. So do what you can to contain them. The best wire is this really small gauge wire, if you can use that, because the Fawines can't get through there. The Fawine can get through there no problem, and I think Fawines can get through this gauge as well. So yeah, finest gauge wire you can buy. These have got this big open light area, this big open area which was there, and that's fine. That's what they've got. They don't need it. They need ventilation but no draft. They don't need light. They want to lay in the dark anyway, and they can have the light when they come out. Solid door that my Mark made from a shelf unit, a metal shelf unit. So yeah, anything goes. And these are, because they live in a very open, ventilated shed, I rarely have problems with red mite. The warmer, cosier, pampered your chickens, the more they're likely to get red mite and the odd parasite. But because these are in the cold for all of their life, it keeps them quite healthy. I won't feed the fish, it's too cold to feed them. And apparently, we should be able to see a comet. Oh, we need to get rid of this cloud cover first.